Hello, hello. It's a gorgeous day. I'm at the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the Black Hawk Campground in DeSoto, Wisconsin, between La Crosse and Lansing, off of the Mississippi River. While staying at the park, I've had the privilege of helping with an anti-erosion project on the beach. It was fascinating and such a creative technology. I was inspired to create this video to offer tips on how to install this product and hopefully to inspire greater appreciation for this technology. I hope you find this video useful, whether you're watching for fun or to get tips on how to install Defencell products for yourself. We'll be using Defencell DC3, purchased from Flood Defense Group. It's a honeycomb-shaped, non-woven fabric product that holds large amounts of sand or dirt to create a strong, wall-like foundation that can be buried if needed. I believe it's available in different designs, sizes, and textures to fit multiple applications. Today we are using it to build up the area between the beach and the road. Installing this will protect the road from spring runoff and flooding. Phase 1 of the project occurred earlier this year. They installed 4 sets of DC3, double layered. You can see that over the summer, the area has filled in very nicely, and they're ready for Phase 2. So let's get started. It's a good idea to start off by gathering all the supplies you'll need for the project. You'll need your Defencell. In this case, it's a DC3, the instruction manual, the framework and pins, an excavator or bobcat with a dump bucket, and at least 2 people with shovels. You'll also need water. Since we're working near the river, we have a hose, a submersible water pump, and a generator to power it. High pressure applications will not be useful here. Now we prepare the area for the Defencell to rest on. We're using an excavator to smooth and level out the area. And since we're connecting this section to a previous section, we're also re-exposing the previous cells that we buried so we can bump them up against it for a more durable result. Keep in mind, the more layers you plan to stack, the more level it should be. We're only using 2 cells stacked on top of one another, so we are just going to eyeball it. Having the right equipment and an experienced operator made this task very quick and easy. Next, we're going to build the frame that holds the Defencell in place. Our instructions provided a map for each type of cell, so be sure you're looking at the map for the style you have. Lay the pieces out on the ground using the map as a guide. Remember, the numbers and the letters need to be facing up. Then connect the poles together as instructed. Next, you're going to insert the pins into each hole from the top, with the short end of the curve hanging over the outer edge of the poles. Some of the pins need a little extra force to be inserted. Don't be afraid to use some here. You might notice that the space between the corner pins are spaced differently on opposite ends and the same on opposite corners. In the next step, if the pins are not lining up properly with your cell, you may need to turn the frame or the cell 180 degrees. Now we're going to set up the cell inside the frame. Lay it out in place and then open and expand it, being sure the flat side is down. Carefully carry and set the frame on top of the cell while expanding it to hook the pins into each outer cell. This holds the cell in place while it's being filled. Take a few moments to examine each outer cell and pin to make sure all the pockets are being held in place securely. If it's not lining up, try rotating the cell or the frame 180 degrees. Here's the fun part. Now it's time to fill the cells halfway. Once the cell and the frame are in the proper position, fill each cell halfway with sand or dirt. It's very important not to fill them all the way at this stage. As you fill, pack it down with your feet, allowing the cell to expand to its fullest form. Now it's time to wet the material. Adding water will strengthen the cells and help compact the sand. The frame can be removed now. Fill each cell with water, saturating the sand so water pools at least 1 to 2 inches. It took us at least 30 minutes. You don't want to rush this step. Now we fill it up to the top, pack it down, and add water again. As you fill the cells, pack it down with your feet. Notice the outer edge is higher than the inner grid. If you're going to be stacking another cell on top, only fill to the inner grid, as we did here. The outer frame will be your guide for the next cell set. Now you just saturate the cells with water again. It can be a tedious but very important step. Additional layers. We repeat the entire process here. We set up the cell and the frame pretty much the same way as before, only this time we want to make sure that the top cell is cradled inside the frame of the bottom cell. We fill it halfway, compacting it with our feet, saturate it with water, removing the frame, and this time, since it is our final layer, we will fill it to the brim, the outer edge, and then water it again thoroughly. Backfill depending on your application. Now you fill in and shape the area as desired. This project took 1 day from start to finish. Again, having a good plan, the appropriate equipment, tools, and manpower, plus an experienced operator, we were able to complete this project quickly and safely. And here's the finished product. It's looking great. We'll add some seed and grow some grass on it. Good luck with your project. And thanks for watching Inspired to RV. See you next time.